Morning, everyone. Welcome to B-Side Sydney 2024. We're going to start off with our first speaker here, Lawrence, to talk about generative AI and some engineering and cybersecurity for AI. Just a quick thing about the rooms and everything in this space. There's a couple of green rooms back here that are only for speakers, so don't go into those rooms. There's plenty of talks in this level, the next level up. You can walk around most of those rooms. A couple of places that are off limits, they'll be well shown. And toilets on every floor, etc. That's it. Have fun, enjoy. And I'll pass it over to Lawrence and let him go through this talk. Enjoy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Before we dive in, I want to address something important about the scope of today's presentation. By the way, if I am not speaking clear enough for you, please let me know. Don't be shy. You might have read the description that promises comprehensive coverage of advanced prompt engineering for cybersecurity operations. Let me explain to you. Trying to do that in 40 minutes is going to do you a disservice, and why I have chosen a different approach. First of all, let us consider the famous saying, give a person a fish, you feed them a day. Teach them how to fish, you give them fish a lifetime. So the principle of this particular principle is very applicable to prompt engineering in cybersecurity. So if I try to talk about, in 40 minutes, give you specific prompts in every cybersecurity situations, essentially giving you a fish, it's going to cause some problems. Number one, AI evolves quickly. What I talk about today may be outdated very soon. Number two, it might not be applicable to your particular context or situation. And number three, you might not learn anything about how to create your own prompts for your own situations. So I want to, instead of giving you a catalog of prompts, I want to focus on building fundamental understanding, giving you the skills to develop your own prompts. So let us begin. Let's start off with a beautiful woman's picture. Okay, I want to be on the same, make sure everybody's on the same page. Prompt engineering is about asking AI chatbots like ChatGPT question or request, and hopefully you get a good answer you're looking for. So one day I received SMS from a woman who looks like her. She asked to be my friend. So I have my doubts. So I asked ChatGPT for help. And this is the question. So I got this SMS from Taylor Swift. By the way, does anybody here not know whom Taylor Swift is? Okay, I assume everybody knows who she is. So I asked ChatGPT. She wants to be my friend. I've never met her before, never talked to her before. Is she for real? Or have I found the one? And thankfully, ChatGPT saved me from myself. It says most likely a scam. So this is very good use of ChatGPT. Oh, by the way, you guys who are late, you missed the good-looking woman part. So sorry, man. Next time, show up on time, man. So why use ChatGPT? I'll give you a very good reason. You know, everybody want to look smarter than they are. So there are 3 ways you can do that. 3 ways that I know of. Number one, you speak English with an English accent. Anybody here who can speak English with an English accent? If you are in America, well, you're going to be popular in America. They think the English accent is posh. And you learn to ask better questions. And number 3, of course, you learn to use ChatGPT. And when I say ChatGPT, I'm talking about ChatGPT and its competitors. So these are the main competitors. And recently I found this website. You can actually ask one question and get a different answer from different models. So you have model A, model B, and then you can compare which one is a better model for answering your question. So some questions I will try to answer today. Limitations, challenges, why it is important, why clear and precise instructions are important for prompt engineering, and arguments for learning, and why some people struggle with prompt engineering. This is a summary I want you to take away from. AI is not an option. It's the future. You don't have a choice. The usefulness of ChatGPT is only up to your imagination. Remember, garbage in, garbage out. And of course, do not ignore Google. And the difference between a basic prompt and an advanced prompt is an academic paper. Because every single advanced prompt I've come across all started with an academic paper. And they use magic words in their paper to prove or to try to prove that by using the magic words, you can get better output from prompt engineering. Contents. So what we will not cover today, what is prompt engineering? We covered that second point earlier. What makes a great basic prompting framework? It's not your fault, or is it your fault? Some examples. So what we will not cover today, we're not going to cover all these concepts that have something to do with advanced prompt engineering. I only have 40 minutes. And so let's cover the next one, prompt framework. What makes a basic prompt, good basic prompt? I just want to be sure we're on the same page. So let me go through this quickly. So we give you the persona. Maybe you can ask it to be a doctor and ask it to explain to you this medication. Be specific with your request. Provide context about why you're asking the question. Provide specific constraints like how long is the output. Make it conversational, like talking to a friend. And have a clear and achievable goal before you ask a question. Do you want what kind of format you want, for example? And this zero-shot prompt is a basic prompt, basically, because zero-shot prompt is zero example. You don't give AI an example to help you answer the question. You are relying on the training of the AI to give you the example or to give you the answer. So here we don't have an example. Next slide, we're going to show a one-shot prompt or a one example prompt. Actually, we skip that for now. Okay, prompting framework. There are a lot of them. This is one example, clear. So these are if you follow this one, your prompt should have all these ingredients. Next one. You can just Google and see what they are. If they are more or less the same ingredients. It is not your fault that you cannot get the perfect prompt with AI, ChatGPT. Why? Because it's very sensitive to the wording. It's not what you say, it's how you ask, how you say it. So changing your phrase, instruction can significantly improve performance. The most effective changes are in these two features. Morphology, look at the changes just by changing from analyze to analyzing or analysis could affect your output. And also lexicon. And here, if you add extra spaces, capitalization, using delimiters, I will explain what delimiter is later. For now, just know that basically it's a boundary that you set between your question and your data. It's something that make it clear to the AI which part is your question and which part is your data. So there are a lot of assumptions that have been challenged according to some academic papers, assumptions that we have about AI. Lower perplexity is no guarantee that you will get better output. Perplexity is a measure of the AI model in is predicting a sample of text in coming up with an output. In theory, the lower the perplexity, the better the output, but that's not always guaranteed. So this is one assumption we had about AI that's being challenged. Okay, using simple words is no guarantee that you get a better output. Sometimes if you use the rare words that is in the training of the AI, you get better outputs. And also, the length of your output of your question, the frequency of your keywords, how clear your instruction is no guarantee you'll get better outputs. Limitations and constraints, there are more of them here. So last year I ran this early last year when ChatGPT just came out, and it's proved that ChatGPT is not particularly good at logical thinking or mathematics. I think it's still the same case. I haven't tried, but this is one fundamental weakness about AI ChatGPT. Something to keep in mind when you do your prompting. If you put your keywords at the beginning or at the end, it's better than putting it in the middle because the ChatGPT might skip it. And we came across this earlier, adding extra spaces, limit capitalization, using delimiters. And this is the most important thing you want to remember. When you ask a generic question, ChatGPT has a lot of options to choose from about how to answer your question from its training. So if you ask a general question, ChatGPT has so many different options, it's going to give you general answer. So you want to focus ChatGPT on a specific domain that you're interested in. So if you are a cybersecurity expert, you want to ask about incident response, then say you are an incident response expert, give it a persona, then you will focus on that particular domain in its training. And then you will come back, it will most likely come back with a better output, better quality output. So basically right now, ChatGPT AI is a black box. I mean, there are things we know about ChatGPT and how they transform input the data, their training data into an output. There are things we know about, but there are still a lot of things we don't know about. That's why if you should understand what this one means. Some people have said ChatGPT is a troll, and I can agree with that. So now we're going to cover, is it your fault that you cannot come up with a near perfect prompt? Oh, by the way, if you think you're missing out downstairs, their talk is on YouTube. One of the speakers gave the same talk a few months ago in Las Vegas. Is it your fault that you cannot get to a near perfect prompt? I have a few theories why some people are struggling with prompt engineering. Theory number one, remember we came across this earlier. Ask better questions. The way we ask questions in life is very similar to the skills we use in prompt engineering. And this is pointed out by this paper. I don't know whether it's peer review, but it sounds right up my alley. The art of creative inquiry, the conclusion, the skill you use in asking better questions every day is the same skills you use in prompt engineering. Now, another theory I have about why some people struggle with prompt engineering is if you don't like writing, if you dislike writing, you're going to have problem, I think, because interacting with ChatGPT right now requires a lot of back and forth. So there's some examples I want to go through. Let me see where we are right now. Oh, 9:14. Wow, good. Okay, zero shot. We came across this earlier. Zero example. Zero shot means zero example. That means you are purely relying on the training data of the AI to give you the outputs. Hopefully, they will give you the output that you want. The next shot is going to show you the one example prompt. So on the left side, the example we're talking about is A, the answer is 11. So On the left side here, it's actually called one-shot prompting. And because it has one example. So here you ask a question and then you give an example of how AI should arrive at the answer. And then you ask a different question. Hopefully AI is smart enough to follow your first example and come up with an answer. But unfortunately, in this case, it doesn't work. So some people came up with a chain of thought prompting. So in this example, you actually show AI how you step by step come to your conclusion, and then hopefully AI is smart enough to follow your step by step and come up with an answer. And in this case, it works. We are entering advanced prompt engineering area now. So the difference, as I mentioned earlier, the difference between a basic prompt and an advanced prompt is an academic paper, because every single advanced prompt I have come across so far started with an academic paper. I'll talk about magic words later. This is another advanced prompt I'm very happy that I discovered. Let me show you why. This is a basic prompt. You ask ChatGPT to come up with a Python code based on its training data. And the next line is the magic words in this particular strategy. You ask AI to review their answer and come up with another answer. Find problems. And then you ask AI again. So this is from the paper they started. They came up with this RCI thing. Here's the paper. Oh, by the way, at the end, I will give you a link to a Google Docs, and you can find all the references in the Google Doc. And you can find all these pictures in the reference, in the academic papers. So here we have one question asked, and then down here we have 4 different advanced prompt engineering, or 3 advanced prompt engineering technique and 1 standard basic prompt. So this question, Valerie earns $5,000 a month. So all these 4 prompting techniques trying to come up with the answer, and they are over here on the left side, they are all wrong. And RCI, which we came across earlier, just by asking this second line, which is I highlighted here, it gives you a better output down here. So this is one of my favorite prompting technique. And also this is another one of my favorite. Okay, here it's a bit overwhelming. Okay, here you have 2 parts: initial problem, your initial problem, and then you have instruction. In the instruction, you have 2 steps. Or in the instruction, first part, you are asking AI to ChatGPT to give you 5 examples. In the example, ChatGPT will give you the question and the answer of each example. And then the next step, ChatGPT will, by looking at these 5 examples it came up with, it's going to try to solve your initial problem, which is this one here. I'm going to show you what the output looks like, so you have a better idea. So here ChatGPT came up with 5 examples. I only have 2 up here because it's too long. So in each example, there's question and there's answer. Question and then there's answer. ChatGPT tried to find in its training similar, relevant, and analogous problems that you have compared to your analogous to your initial problem. And down here, ChatGPT will try to solve your initial problem based on its 5 examples up there. It's very useful. By the way, I'm using this to write a movie script. So next time you see me, I'll be accepting my Oscar. Make sure you tune in. Okay. Another advanced prompt engineering technique is a very simple one. You can ask AI to relax, just relax. Supposedly it will improve the output. By the way, ChatGPT, they don't have feelings. They are not humans. Some people think they do, but they are not humans. They are just predicting the words that they should use to reply to your request. Okay, favorite components or magic words. We came across an example of magic words earlier. So these are some of the magic words I like to use. Each one of them has a academic paper behind them. So this is a personality you are giving AI ChatGPT. And then you have this one I usually ask at the end of my prompt. This is another one I use. Delimiter we talked about earlier, boundaries that we set to distinguish your question from your data. So I use this one usually as my delimiter to separate my question from my data. This is the one we came from. We looked at in RCI earlier. And this one I also use a lot because I usually find very good improvements. And this is another theory I have about why some people have problems with learning prompt engineering. If you are not used to challenging authority, and if you look at ChatGPT as an authority on everything, you're going to feel not very comfortable challenging authority. So if you are, for example, born and bred in a country like communist China, where the authority is always correct, then you're going to have, I think you will have a lot of problems getting the hang of ChatGPT. And there are dozens or hundreds of different prompting techniques. In this paper, they distilled to 15 that they say are relevant for programmers. But I think they are also very useful for other domains, not just programming, because all this you can see in other domains as well. So if you want to start with 15 techniques, start with these 15. Okay, so now we're going to ask one example, one question of ChatGPT, and then we see how some different advanced prompting techniques will phrase the question. So here we're going to ask ChatGPT to generate some Python code. So here on the left side, you have about 8 different advanced prompting techniques. Over here are the examples. We're going to focus on these two in the middle, zero-shot, chain of thought, and RCI, which we talked about earlier. So the same question, as you can see, is phrased differently depending on the technique that you use. So with zero-shot chain of thought, the magic words is let's think step by step. So just by asking a simple question, let's think step by step, you're going to supposedly get a better output. And then here, we talked about this earlier. So I'm going to skip it. But do you have questions about this slide, by the way? I know it's a bit overwhelming. You can find it in this paper if you need proof. When you're tired of watching TV, yes. Let me introduce you some weekend reading. So a different domain, different papers. I got to make sure I'm same distance. Yeah, in this paper. It's in the references list I'm going to give you at the end of this talk. Sorry, you want to take a picture already? Let me know later on if you want to take picture of any slide. I'm happy to go back. Here's another one. It's going to keep you out of trouble for a while. Yeah, and this one as well. This is a very good paper. You want to start with a paper, start with this one. One of my favorite papers. A bunch of people, like at least 12 authors in that paper. Thought process of a prompt engineer, if you want something even a bit more advanced, yeah, this one here, you will give you an example. This is from the same paper that I talked about earlier. One of my favorite papers. It's in the appendix section. So one book to read. Okay, because I wasn't planning on having so much free time right now after all the slides. So I want to introduce you this book for cybersecurity professionals. This book is written about ChatGPT prompting for cybersecurity professionals. I could have copy and pasted all the prompts, but I think it's better for you to read. This is the book. It covers a lot of domains. It's in the reference list here. I will show you. I'll give you later. So here are the chapters. And this is an example prompt from the book. So here he's using a personality. You are a professional cyber threat analyst. And this is a very long prompt here. The second book to read is written by a very handsome man. I have bad news and good news for you. The bad news is I'm quite happy with the content. It's version 1.1. The bad news is the formatting really sucks. So if you want to read, better use a computer rather than a handphone. And the good news is today, Saturday, 7 p.m. onwards, you have 24 hours to download for free from Amazon. Yes. If you have bad things to say about this book, email me. If you have good things to say about this book, give me a 5-star. I need to impress. Okay. Summary. We came across this earlier. So as I mentioned earlier, AI is not an option. It's the future. You don't have a choice. The usefulness is limited to your imagination. Remember this one. And do not ignore Google. And of course, the difference between a basic prompt and an advanced prompt is always an academic paper. So if you want to be better at prompting, read an academic paper. Let's see here. Thank you. Here's the references.
Any questions?
Hi, thanks for the talk. It seems like a lot of the prompt engineering techniques rely, or at least that I saw rely on you knowing the correct answer. You know what I mean? Like if you're refining the answer and you're asking it to check what's wrong, say you're generating secure Python code, how do you know if you yourself don't know whether it's secure, when to stop asking it to find problems, and how do you know it's not hallucinating problems in its previous answer and actually giving you less secure code?
Yeah, it's a good question. That's why I use more than one AI chatbots to cross-check each other. Even then, it's no guarantee they know what they're talking about. So it's always good to have a human friend at hand who can guide you along the way as well. I don't know if that answers your question, but you can never trust AI.
Maybe you should just ask your human friend to help you from the start.
The problem is your human friend may not be so free to entertain your question. So maybe you want to get the basic out of the way. Then, if maybe it will help you come up with a better question. Then you're happy so that your human friend will be happy to answer. Any question? I can't believe it. Oh, but before I answer your question, I want to thank the organizers for allowing me to be one of your speakers today. I'm very deeply honored to be one of your speakers today. To be able to speak to at least 100, I hope 100 people, highly qualified professionals, was on my bucket list. So that one is ticked. So I believe they put up together a very excellent event today, and so I'm very, very grateful to be part of this. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for the talk, man. It was really good.
Oh, I love your accent, man.
Oh, cheers, buddy. So look, just for context, this is actually my first B-Sides event. So like I'm new to a lot of this stuff, but I myself have been using ChatGPT in like so many areas of my life. It's kind of caught me off guard how often I use it these days. But look, I've worked help desk for about 7 or 8 years now. I'm currently being trained as a sysadmin. ChatGPT, in my experience in the IT side of things at the moment, is still like it's a bit of a Pandora's box in a lot of ways. And I think, look, you probably understand that better than anyone. I suppose my question is for you: how far off do you think we are to adopting ChatGPT and AI at large into just the IT space as like a mandatory option?
Very good question. That question is better answered by the two ladies downstairs, because they're talking about hacking AI right now. But from what I understand, there's a lot of problem with LLM, large language model. So a lot of problems you can see on the news about company having problems installing, making use of AI. To be honest with you, I'm not that qualified to tell you when we will see that happening. Hopefully within my lifetime. But I'm happy to pass on your question to the two lovely ladies downstairs.
Yeah, that'd be good, man. Cheers.
Thanks for that. Do you have a view on which of those prompting techniques you think gives the best productivity gains?
It really depends on the context, I think. That's why you want to read as many papers as possible to familiarize yourself. Oh, yes, of course, read my book. Because my book actually is a collection of many different examples from different sources. Some of them you have to pay. So you save you some money by going to my book. And actually, I categorize the prompts according to functions, like extracting words or summarizing or problem solving, stuff like that. You know, so it really, basically you want, it really depends on context, and so you try different techniques. And the ones that the favorite ones that I show on the slide are the ones I use the most often. Yeah, I guess they are my favorites, and they're the one that work for my context. Yeah, I hope I answer your question.
What AI or ChatGPT would you recommend for running on-prem, like off the internet?
I hope somebody here knows this more than me, because to be honest with you, I haven't tried any one of them. This is on my bucket list.
Yeah, or an AI. I don't want to invest. Yeah.
But some of the papers, they actually talk about the machines that they use. So maybe from there you can get some inspirations. Also, of course, remember this website. Let's go back. Why is this not working? Stuck. Okay. Remember this one? Yeah, you can test the same question on different 72 models according to the website and see which one is better.
Just to answer the previous question, if you're interested in running like a model, like an AI locally, like ChatGPT, you can look up Olama, or you can look up Hugging Face, which is like GitHub for AI models. And then there's a program called LM Studio, which lets you test them and have a look. But Olama or Hugging Face on Google, and that'll give you all the answers.
Oh, this one.
Yes.
G'day, thanks for the talk. Just a question. Is there an inherent bias against AI, especially for cybersecurity, that we expect AI to be right all the time? And we sort of say that it's bad if it's not and it shouldn't be trusted. But in reality, most cyber people aren't right most of the time in all things. So we have a high expectation for AI to be write secure code, yet in reality, very few people write secure code. But is there any inherent bias?
I think we do. I mean, we expect too much from AI. There's a lot of hype about AI. Maybe that's one of the problems. Yeah. So we have to be realistic. So the more you play with AI, the more you find that it's not so intelligent. I mean, ChatGPT.
What's your thought with ChatGPT, but O1, the new one that is thinking? Because also with I tried like a basic prompt, and the reply was very good because he's thinking instead of let me doing like a better prompt.
You're talking about
ChatGPT
free one
O1,
and the
no,
paid
no,
one.
not the paid one. I guess because I'm paying, probably I have access. Is the O1. Basically, when I do a prompt, it takes maybe 10, 15, 40 seconds to reply. So he got all the steps. You can see all the steps, and the reply is incredible comparing with the 4.0. What's your thought about that?
Compared to the older version?
Yeah.
So you're happy with the new free version?
No, I'm using O1.
Or using the old one?
O1.
It's a free one, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, you're paying for an old one?
Yeah, I guess because it's a preview. But AI is thinking. Once you ask a prompt, when you digit a prompt, then doesn't reply straight away. Wait, you can see what AI is doing, and then it's gonna give you a very detailed reply.
Okay. Are we talking about ChatGPT, the brand?
Yeah, ChatGPT,
Oh.
OpenAI, ChatGPT.
Or OpenAI?
Yeah, I have in the phone.
The browser one or the
No,
API one?
also in the app in the phone.
In the browser?
Yeah.
The one in the browser, not the one that you run through the API.
No, in the browser.
Okay.
So
You're saying you're paying for ChatGPT and you're happy with the answer.
Hey, it's just $20. It's not.
Oh, okay.
So, but the new one is thinking. So with the basic prompt.
Yeah.
Basic. I mean.
Yeah.
You have a very good reply anyway.
Yes, correct. So you're saying why should I bother learning?
No. What's your thought? Because AI is going quick.
Yes.
I mean, we have a lot of paper, but if it's from, for me, in my opinion, like from 2023, for me, sounds very old.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Here's my thought. Because prompt engineering, as I mentioned earlier, help you develop your questioning skill. So in real life, when you don't have ChatGPT next to you, you have to learn to ask better questions. Using ChatGPT is a very good way to train yourself, to make you look smarter in a conference table, around the conference table. So that's why no matter how good ChatGPT gets to become in answering your question, I believe the training that you get in learning how to ask better questions help you in real life when you don't have internet connection. I don't know. I hope that answered your question. Yeah.
You can try Vertex AI from Google, and they have the option that you can change the parameter to tuning your model. So I tried that one already, and yes, it's thinking. So it's not just reflect immediately, and take more 2 or 3 seconds, or sometimes 10 seconds, based on your complexity of your questions.
I think when people talk about the AI thinking, I think what OpenAI are doing is basically just automating the recursive process. So it's starting with an input and an output and then feeding it back into itself, looping it a few times. And so that's where I think like prompt engineering is a skill. It's something that the product people, OpenAI and Google, they don't want end users to be good prompt engineers. They want it to automatically work. And so they're building this research into the layers where it just does it automatically for you.
Thank you. Any more questions? I hope I haven't wasted your time. 5:40. Okay, thanks for coming.